Okay, so biotech, huh? Thinking about a career as a biotechnical technician. Good on ya for even thinking about it. It's seriously blowing up right now.
It really is. I mean, the
Hmm.
biotech industry is just, well, booming. And you know what that means, right? They need people,
How?
skilled technicians, and lots of them. You've come to the right place to figure out how to, be one of those people.
That's what we're here for. We're going deep on career paths. We've got all these insider tips from RoleCatcher, like their whole treasure trove of resources. Oh, and maybe we'll even bust a few myths about, what it really means to work in a lab, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I mean, let's be real. What do most people picture when they hear biotechnical technicians?
mm-hmm.
Bubbling beakers, maybe, or I don't know, some Frankenstein situation about to go sideways.
Okay, right.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying there aren't any pipettes or petri dishes involved. Of course not. But
But come on, it's got to be way more dynamic than just mixing stuff up, right?
oh, for sure, for sure. It's a lot more about problem solving than people think,
Yeah.
and tech savviness. You need a solid base in science, for sure. But you're going to come out of it a bit of a tech whiz, too. You're analyzing data, running this sophisticated equipment, like flow cytometers.
Flow cyto what now?
Flow cytometers, they help you analyze cells. Super cool stuff.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Way cooler than any bubbling beaker.
Right. And the tech's always changing, too, so you're learning constantly.
So it's like you need that strong biology, chemistry, the whole nine yards. But you're also becoming, like you said, a total tech whiz along the way.
That's it. That's it. It's funny. Think of it like this. Biotechnical technicians, they're like the detectives of like the whole science world. You know what I mean?
Oh, I like that.
They're piecing together clues, running experiments, analyzing all the results, all to help solve these really complex puzzles.
And not just any puzzles, right? These puzzles have like major implications. We're talking medicine, agriculture, environmental science.
Everything. It all comes back to biotech.
It's not just knowing the science, it's like using it to actually make a difference in the world.
100%. Which, that brings us to another super important thing. Safety.
Oh, right. Not just leaving some like top secret experiment lying around.
Exactly. We've all seen those movies where one little spilled vial, boom, total chaos, right?
Right. Please tell me that's not how it really is.
No, no. Thankfully, labs these days are highly controlled, like very strict safety protocols everywhere you look.
Which is good because, mutant spider bite, that's not really on my list of career hazards I'm looking to deal with.
Yeah, good call.
Uh,
But in all seriousness, biotechnical technicians, they're trained to put safety first, always. For themselves, for their colleagues, everyone. It's like the foundation of everything they do.
okay, so safety first. Got it. But what about like the actual skills and education you need to, rock this whole biotechnical technician gig?
Well, you actually already hit on a couple of the big ones. That strong foundation in science, that's absolutely key. Biology, chemistry, for sure. And maybe a little physics, too. Depends what you're into, what area you want to specialize in.
Right, makes sense. But I'm guessing it's not just about like memorizing the periodic table, right?
No way. You got to actually, get it.
Mhm.
Really grasp those scientific principles, be able to use them, not just recite them back.
Apply them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, okay, let's say you were like the bio whiz back in high school, but you haven't thought about a covalent bond in, well, years. Don't sweat it. There are tons of ways to get back up to speed.
Yeah, like what? Give us the goods.
Community colleges are awesome. They've got great certificate programs, super practical, or even online.
Yeah.
Platforms like Coursera, they've got courses from like the biggest, best universities in the world. You can literally level up your science game from your couch.
Nice. So you can basically like DIY your education, tailor it to what you need, what you're into.
Exactly.
Although I have a feeling though that in biotech, it's not just about what you like learn from a textbook, right?
Yeah. You're preaching to the choir. Hands-on experience. That's where it's at. That's how you really learn this stuff.
Okay, that makes total sense. But where do you even start? It's not like you can just stroll into a lab and be like, hey, can I try out the centrifuge?
Well, you shouldn't just stroll in. But honestly, you'd be surprised. A lot of labs, they have these internship programs specifically for aspiring techs, people who are just starting out.
Oh, really? So it's like your way to get your foot in the door.
100%. You learn the ropes, get your hands on some seriously cool equipment. And hey, maybe even that centrifuge, you never know.
Right. So internships, that's like step one. But what about like career changers? People who maybe, they've been doing something else for a while, but now they're like, biotech, that's my jam. What would you say to them?
I'd say it's never too late. Seriously.
Uh-huh.
In fact, some of the best biotechnical technicians I know, they came from totally different fields.
No way.
Really.
Yeah.
And they bring this like whole fresh perspective, a different way of thinking. RoleCatcher, they actually highlight a lot of these career changers. Like they'll share their stories, give advice. It's really cool. Like they had this one software engineer, right? Totally switched gears, got into biotech, and now he's doing some crazy advanced stuff with gene editing.
Whoa. See, I love hearing that. Proof that you can totally create your own path in this field.
Right. And that's exactly why, lifelong learning, it's not just some cheesy phrase in biotech. It's like essential.
Because everything changes so fast, right? The tech, the discoveries, it's like dot constant evolution.
Nonstop. So how do these techs stay ahead of the curve? Well, one word, CRISPR.
CRISPR. Okay, vaguely rings a bell. Sounds a little sci-fi, to be honest.
It kind of is, but it's real. And it's like changing everything. Medicine, agriculture, you name it.
Okay, so for biotechnical technicians, they gotta be in the know about CRISPR. Got it. What else?
Oh, and all the other new tech that's popping up all the time. It's a lot to keep up with, but you got to do it. Go to conferences, read those scientific journals, maybe even take some more online courses.
Like you said, that whole lifelong learning thing, it's like a superpower in this field.
100%. The more you learn, the more doors open up, right?
Right, so you're learning, you're leveling up your skills. That's got to keep things pretty interesting, huh?
Absolutely. And let's be real, who wouldn't want to be on the cutting edge of all this incredible scientific discovery, right?
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so you've got the skills, the education, you're down with the whole lifelong learning thing. What does the actual, career trajectory look like? I mean, where do you even begin? Okay, yeah, career trajectory. So you start with the skills, the education, you're on board with the whole, always be learning thing. But what are we actually doing here? Like, what does the day-to-day even look like starting out?
Well, a lot of folks are going to start as entry-level technicians. Think of it kind of like, boot camp. You're learning the ropes, you're helping out the senior scientists, really getting comfy in the lab environment.
Yeah, getting your bearings.
Exactly. Mastering those, essential techniques, everything from mixing up solutions to using all that basic equipment. It's all about that strong foundation.
Right. Foundation is key. But then, okay, so you've got the basics down. What's next? How do you, level up from there?
Okay, so that's when things get really cool. As you get more experience under your belt, you might become a junior technician. More responsibility, more doing your own thing, running experiments more independently. Maybe you were even starting to troubleshoot equipment problems or really dig into data analysis. It's all way more hands-on.
Oh, that's cool. So it's like you're not just following the recipe anymore. You're tweaking it, figuring out how to make it even better.
100%. That's where all your skills, all your interests, they really come into play. Maybe you find out you have a knack for some super specific technique or you just fall in love with some area of research. That's when you can start to, specialize, really carve out your own little niche in the field.
So you go from junior tech and then maybe you're a senior biotechnical technician leading projects, showing the ropes to the newbies, mentoring.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's a ton of possibilities.
Oh, the possibilities are basically endless. And, RoleCatcher, they're really great about, they actually give you these real world examples of what that looks like, like people who started out just like we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. And now they're leading whole research teams, developing brand new technology. Some of them have even started their own biotech companies.
Get out. Okay, see, that's seriously inspiring. But real talk for a sec. We've talked about how, biotech's competitive, right? It's a hot field. What would you say to someone who's trying to stand out, really catch the eye of, a hiring manager?
Networking. That's the magic word.
Oh, okay. Networking. Give me the rundown.
And I don't just mean showing up at a conference with a pocket full of business cards, right? It's more about making those genuine connections, actually getting to know people in the industry. Go to seminars, join those online forums, connect with people on LinkedIn, really put yourself out there.
Yeah, let people see your passion,
Yeah, and learn from other people. It's a two-way street.
Okay, networking, check. So then let's say you make those connections and boom, you land the interview.
Nice.
That's where RoleCatcher comes in again, right?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Their whole database, they've got literally thousands of interview questions, and they're all specific to biotechnical technician roles.
Okay, that's huge. It's like having, I don't know, a cheat code for your career or something. You can practice your answers, get comfortable talking about all the cool stuff you know how to do. Walk into that interview feeling like, you've got this.
And that confidence. That's everything. So, yeah. You got this. Whoever's listening, I mean it. You got this.
This has been awesome. I feel like I've learned so much. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are, maybe one step closer to taking the plunge, jumping into this whole biotech world?
As you're, starting out on this journey, just remember, biotechnical technicians. You guys are like the unsung heroes of science. Seriously, you're the ones in the lab late at night pushing the limits, making those discoveries happen. Your curiosity, your dedication, your passion for all this science stuff, that's what makes all the difference in the world.
Okay, I love that. So, to everyone out there listening, embrace the challenge, right? Never stop learning. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to make that next big breakthrough in biotech.